Minister, or we can refer to him now as a former minister. His wonderful name, because at this time he happens to be the most popular minister in the country, thanks to his predicament, Geoffrey Naji. President Bola Tinubu on Monday evening, right? It happened in the dark, in the evening. So for this case, the walls will need to shatter down so that the sun will shine. I hope you get the reference. I'm referring to the Celine Dion song. President Bola Tinubu on Monday evening accepted the resignation of the Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology. I already have sarcastic comments to make about his ministry. I'll take that again. The Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology. The one ministry where you would expect, just keep going, Sam. Don't let your intrusive thoughts take over. Geoffrey Naji, following some allegations of certificate forgery leveled against him. He resigned in a letter thanking the president for allowing him to serve Nigeria. Special advisor to the president on information and strategy, Bayo Onanuga, revealed in a statement on Tuesday. President Tinubu appointed Naji in August 2023. Naji said he had been a target of blackmail by political opponents. President Tinubu thanked him for his service and wished him well in his future endeavors. So this is sort of a farewell. They make it seem like it's not because of an allegation. But highly placed sources, and I'm reading from The Punch now, in the presidency told newsmen that the president had asked Naji to honorably resign rather than firing him publicly. Oh, okay. So that's what The Punch claims. Now, Naji has said a few things. Naji says he did not resign because he was guilty of anything. He left his job after people questioned his school certificate from UNN, that's University of Nigeria and Soka, and his NYC certificate. He said he graduated from the university in 1975, but a report said the school could not confirm his records. In a statement he released on Tuesday night, Naji said his decision to resign was not easy. He explained that he chose to step aside on his own, not because he was guilty. No, on the contrary, that's not the case. But to allow the court process to go on without distraction. So I don't want to be a clog in the wheel of progress and justice. He said he believes that in the end, the truth will come out and he will be cleared, vindicated. People will see him for who he truly is and not who they think he is. Naji also said that the talk about fake certificate was a plan by his political enemies to destroy his good name. My goodness. So that's the case. Naji has resigned thanks to an allegation of certificate forgery. Now, when this kind of news hits the news, what happens? Reactions, of course. Everyone who can does react, starting with the opposition. On the top of that list is former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. He has asked that the certificate of President Bola Tinubu's remaining ministers be checked to know if they are real. So now that they've spotted Naji, allegedly, I'm throwing that across this conversation. The remaining ministers, please, let's be sure, because it might not be only Naji. You might also find Neji and others. Atiku, in a post on X, said Naji should not have been allowed to resign on his own. Said the issue shows that there is a big moral problem in Tinubu's government. He said, what should have been a shame to the country is now being made to look like a normal resignation to cover up another scandal. Yeah, the resignation does seem like, considering that the president accepted and bid him farewell, it's almost like he was traveling out of the country to further his studies. Also reacting, I'm sure you don't need me telling you who else, but you expected it. Peter Obi, in a post on X on Monday, expressed disappointment that some Nigerian leaders who are supposed to set good examples have become the very source of the nation's decay. In his words, how would you tell young Nigerians to be honest and upright when those they are supposed to emulate are the least to be emulated because they are criminals and dishonest? He wrote in apparent reference to the certificate forgery by the minister. Okay. So, what's our position on this? Now, the idea that Naji resigned does not mean that he is guilty, right? As a matter of fact, in other parts of the world where we like to cite as examples, this is what happens. You're accused of something, and the ethical thing to do is to step aside. Now, I use the word step aside. Some do not resign, right? Stepping aside is a protocol in many parts of the world, pending the results of an investigation. So someone says, Samara Kuchinedu used fake certificate to get a job at Nigeria Info, or they accuse me of something. I can only be on the show for too long, but based on the rave that the news gets, the controversy and how it affects my job, I might either resign from Nigeria Info, or the station will say, you know what, Sam, for now, just stay away from hard facts, because there are allegations on your head, and every day you are coming out to criticize government, criticize police, say this one, tinted permit. Meanwhile, some people think you are a thief. So just shift for a bit. Now, that stepping aside is pending the results of an investigation, which means immediately an investigation will begin. So I'm waiting in the corner, or I have resigned, so that the investigation will now show if I'm guilty or innocent. The problem now with my beautiful country, Nigeria, is that sometimes that pending never ends. Sometimes, in fact, a lot of times, that pending continues pending to infinity and beyond. Usually what is supposed to happen is, if found guilty, the person loses their job, their reputation, and possibly faces the consequence for the crime they've been accused. Because if investigation shows you are guilty, then you have to be tried. But if innocent, the person is now reinstated, they now get an apology, oh, we are sorry, now small picking the warriors. The system now finds a way to make it up for the damage to the person's reputation. And sometimes you see the person say, you know what, I'm not accepting, I won't come back. They say, oh, that's very, we didn't mean it. You know the way these things are. So that is what usually happens. So Naji has resigned. Is there an investigation? I believe so. But Naji claims it's not because he's guilty. No, I don't want to be a distraction to the renewed hope agenda. And this is by my political enemies. The question you want to ask is, who exactly accused him? Well, it was an investigation done by the media, not politics. The investigation was carried out by Premium Times. And it took them 2 years, which means they started investigating the minute the ministers were appointed. They started doing background checks. And they reached out to UNN. UNN claimed that they could not find the record of a certain Naji from 1975. NYC as well. So when they confirmed it, according to Premium Times, of course, they made it public. Boom, the nation exploded. So my question to you is not whether it's true or it's false. No, we cannot tell that. My question is how this alleged certificate forgery affects, or what it says about the government's ability to properly screen and verify, appointees. Because there was a screening process that led to this person being appointed. And mind you, ministers are part of the president's cabinet. If a president is elected today and he starts, the next thing is say, when will the president appoint his cabinet? In other words, when will he select ministers? There's a process, screening, DSS, Senate, and all of that. So if it is true that this was forged, how did it make its way past all of the screening processes to become a minister? How could incidents like this affect public trust in the administration and its commitment to accountability? 0817 923 0002. I feel like using Celine Dion's New Day Has Come as the background to this. 0817 923 0003. Celine, are you ready? Give it to me. Be strong.
comes to the local government to work.
Okay.
And people cried over it. No doubt, he has his own meaning. Let's go to the issue of energy. How can someone pass through states? Because someone recommended him from the state.
Yeah.
Then to Senate, all the screen and all that, and he has been sitting down there in that FEC meeting, day in, day out, using Nigerian taxpayers' money to fly all over. And can you imagine the kind of post we handle? Technology. And yet, no wonder we cannot even produce spoon.
No, you cannot blame. No, don't take it out of energy, please.
No,
Don't.
It's true, my brother. It's true.
Yeah.
Let us be very honest. Sometimes when someone comes like this to speak on Nigeria, people should say, yes, we should not have the truth here. And I hate this issue of there are some people. Who are the some people which you know that?
It's some people, my brother. You cannot come. It's some people. It's not everybody. It's some people. You know that I know that you know. It's some people. Yeah. Please.
Let's be very honest. What that man did is very, very wrong. It's the same thing that Tinubu is doing over there.
What he's been accused of is an allegation. Hell, my brother, allegedly. Okay. Thank you very much. Some people say I have to take a commercial. When I'm back, we continue talking. Stay with us.